Hey guys, TheWaggishAmerican here. Today I'm going to be doing an inbox review of Eduard's 1/48 scale Polikranov I-16 Type 18. And this is the weekend edition of that kit. The box is typical Eduard stock. A fairly decent painting of the subject adorns a blank background with the easily identifiable weekend edition style of box layout that Eduard so effectively employs to designate between its various ranges. On one side of the box, Eduard provides a colored print of the side and bottom of the one provided decal option, along with the 4 colors they say is necessary to complete the model. Frustratingly, these are only provided in what I believe to be Mr. Color paints, and I have not been able to find any decent Tamiya equivalents or mixes for these colors. Research will need to be done when it comes to actually painting the model. The box is a very sturdy, thick cardboard for the bottoms and sides, and thankfully the box is open top for easy access and good safe storage, unlike the terrible side opening boxes that many other European manufacturers have fallen into. Alright, let's crack open the box and take a look inside. The fact that this kit is a weekend edition is immediately evident from looking at the instructions. Unlike the thick, glossy paper that the Profi Pack sets usually come with, this I-16 includes some of the cheapest paper I've ever seen my instructions printed on. I'm pretty positive that this is just normal printer paper that you could just run through your home printer. The standard front page of instructions, which typically contains an image relating to the kit and a type history, is not present. Instead, the instruction sheet begins with a rundown of the sprues, displaying what you will not use in gray, before jumping right into the build. Additionally, the instruction book is not stapled, so be careful not to lose any pages. The order of the instructions is very sensically laid out, beginning with the cockpit walls and joining of the fuselage and running through cockpit construction, airframe completion, and ending with the smallest details and clear parts as the last step, which is something I really like them doing, especially that they've made it so that the gun sight can be placed in very last, so you don't have to worry about damaging the gun sight while masking the canopy for painting. On the back of the instructions, Eduard provides a black and white print of the single included color scheme. Unhelpfully, the 4 views are shaded. If there were more than 2 colors, properly identifying which color goes where could be fairly difficult. Thankfully though, with only green and blue, it's not a problem on this kit. Now, onto the kit itself. The kit is contained on 4 sprues of dark gray plastic and 1 sprue of clear plastic, forming the canopy and gun sight. The plastic seems to be a little bit on the brittle side, which I actually prefer to soft as it is easier to sand and clean up. The first sprue contains nothing but the 2 aircraft halves, which I've already cut off to do a test fit. So these come on their own separate sprue, like so. Now, since I took them off to do a test fit, I'll show you how they fit, and it actually, despite having virtually no locator pins, which is this is a common thread I've noticed in some of the Eduard kits, and it's very confusing to me from such a well-known and high-quality manufacturer as Eduard. But their fuselage, a lot of these fuselages does not have locator pins. Anyway, besides the lack of locator pins, the fuselage fits very nicely. The second sprue contains the 3 main parts of the wing. None of these parts have damaging ejector pins or any kind of flash, although some of the panel lines on the wing appear to be a little bit soft. Let's see if I can get those in there. Just a little on the soft side. The next sprue consists of smaller structural elements and virtually every part that goes into the cockpit. These are all very well protected, and again, no flash or damaging ejector pin marks are visible on any part. The final sprue is taken up by smaller details and landing gear components, with a large strip of the space, this entire center section here, taken up solely by exhaust sections. One thing I do really like about this kit, if I can get it in focus here, each exhaust pipe has had the end molded to appear hollow. Now you barely see these ends. They sit very close to flush with the aircraft, but just that little bit will give it enough of an impression of being hollow to really sell the model. Finally, and separately bagged, the clear parts. On this kit, which was an open cockpit airplane, there are very few. In fact, there are only two. One part is this crystal clear, perfectly molded, oh boy, it's not like in my lights. There you go. The windscreen with really nice raised panels to aid in masking, and it's very thin, it's spotlessly clear. And also, the gun sight is very small. There's a little bit of a mold line, but it should clean up very nicely. Overall, very, very nice clear parts. Having never built an Eduard kit, I cannot yet comment on how these decals actually apply. However, the limited decals included with this kit look pretty nice. The kit only includes the Soviet star insignia and one set of individual aircraft markings. It gives you two options for the same aircraft, so I'm guessing that sources, either the aircraft was repainted differently at some point, or sources don't agree on which of these was correct. The inclusion of a cockpit cockpit decal is nice for those of you who do not wish to paint your airplane cockpits. The only thing I really notice wrong with these is the 61 here that does not have a black border. It looks a little bit transparent. I don't know for a fact this is a problem, but just on the sheet, it looks like it might bleed a little bit of color through. The decals themselves have a pretty glossy finish. Now this is something I'm not usually a fan of. The glossy finish makes applying your decal solvent a little bit more difficult because it tends to beat up on the surface compared to flat finishes where the solvent will just stay where you put it. But it probably won't cause too much of a problem. One other nice thing, these decals are extraordinarily thin. You can't even see a little bump where the clear part of the decals goes. So I bet that they're going to apply pretty well and hopefully easily suck into the panel lines and conform to the kind of odd fabric surfaces on the top and bottom of the I-16's wings. There you go. That is Eduard's I-16 Type 18. Once I finish the kit, when I eventually build it, I'll be sure to link the video right here. See you guys next time.